In South Sudan for over 5 years, the last bit of time, and he's now running the standing capacity. She works for UNMAS. She'll be your first speaker, and she will tell you what's going on. And the purpose behind it is that they go quickly. It's like the rapid reaction forces that we used to have.
That statistic of 14 years was to clear rubble in Gaza, where there's 37 million tons, using 100 trucks. So that statistic is 14 years to clear rubble in Gaza with 100 trucks, not clear it of unexploded ordnance. In terms of the contamination, we suspect, but we haven't been able to do an assessment, so we are not sure at this point. The contamination will be extremely extensive, and certainly we will require, as a sector, hundreds of millions of dollars and multiple years to clear Gaza, decades possibly. The situation in Gaza is unprecedented for the Gaza context. Gaza has more rubble than Ukraine, and to put that in perspective, the Ukrainian front line is 600 miles long and Gaza is 25 miles long. There's 37 million tons of rubble at the latest estimate in Gaza. This rubble is likely heavily contaminated with UXO, but clearance of this will be further complicated by other hazards in the rubble. There's estimated to be over 800,000 tons of asbestos, for instance, alone in the Gaza rubble.
2 weeks ago, we were involved in a meeting in Jordan, hosted.
All in all, UNMAS plans to scale up its operations, but has successfully responded in this emergency stage. We hope ultimately to be able to be the coordination body for mine action in Gaza and to stand up our own explosive ordnance disposal teams. In terms of funding, we've secured $5 million of funding. We need to continue our work for the next 12 months, a further $40 million US. The sector as a whole will need hundreds of millions of US dollars over multiple years in order to make Gaza safe again for the population. The issue is, because the level of rubble is so unprecedented, it's going to take new thinking on how we proceed with the clearance. So currently we're still in the planning stage. UNMAS is looking potentially at training banks, people, etc. We're looking at specialized risk education materials, and then ultimately the clearance operations are going to need significant amounts of heavy plants and trucks, etc. to conduct. The methodology of how we're going to do that is still something that's being discussed because of the sheer scale.
We need to continue our work for the next 12 months, a further $40 million US.
Until we've been able to get access to the north and can conduct an assessment, we're not certain about the level of contamination. However, anecdotal stories suggest that it's exceptionally heavy in northern Gaza. Our teams have encountered UXO, unexploded ordnance, on their missions to the north, and we believe it will be a huge issue going forward.
Recording stopped.
The website has that. I'll send you the link to the website. And because we have literally our factories updated. So, but, and I said,